Yo, 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 peace. Cyclonious here for the Verbal Vortex show, episode number 3. And I have a special guest here. Do you mind stating your name for the people, fam?
Sir Vennom.
Yes, brother. And it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
What's happening, bro?
Yes, man. Love, respect.
Good to see you, man.
Okay, first question. What inspired you to pursue a career as an events promoter and a club night DJ?
Well, I didn't really, growing up, like, wasn't really into music too tough. Like, my brother, he was more the musical one. He was singing before he could speak, do you know what I mean? And it was always, like, listening to music in the house. But my dad was a DJ, do you know what I mean? So I was always around music, but I was more sports. I was into my sports, I was into my football.
Right.
It was only probably secondary school I started, like, listening to music. And, you know, we used to tape songs off the radio and them things there.
Yeah.
And that's my first recollection of actually being interested in music, do you know what I mean? And then obviously you start buying CDs and stuff like that. But I didn't have any intention of becoming a DJ, I kind of just fell into it.
Okay.
Like I used to, you know when you buy your CDs, and back in them days when you bought a CD, that was you listened to the whole CD.
Yeah.
It wasn't like now where you go on Spotify, there's a new album comes out, you click on that track, skip that track. Okay, I like that track, you might playlist that 2 tracks off the album and on to the next one. When you bought an album, that was your album for a month, 2 months. You listen to every track, every skit on that album. Do you know what I mean? So I used to buy albums and that. Obviously, mine was, them times there, it was like hip hop. I used to buy my hip hop albums and record the songs I like. Create your own playlist, but them days to create our playlist, we had to record the songs we liked onto cassette and then pop into our Walkman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that was our playlist. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I used to kind of make these kind of mixtapes, but they weren't mixtapes, they were just compilation tapes of my favourite songs from albums, you know what I mean? People would hear them and I'll do me a copy of that tape, so I'll do them a copy of that tape and start making copies of my quote-unquote mixtapes. And then, this was like late 90s. And then, so it was hip-hop, then I moved on to ragga. I used to love my ragga. But them times there, to get the new ragga singles, they were only available like on vinyl. So that's why I started buying a couple of vinyl. And my dad had decks at home, so obviously I'll play them on the thing and then start experimenting and mixing and stuff with the vinyls and stuff, you know what I mean? And before you knew it, I had a little collection and taught myself how to mix, which I'm quite proud of. No one ever taught me. I kind of mastered it, worked out myself and beat matching and timing and stuff like that. So I done that. And before you know it, I had a little collection, started buying a couple of R&B and things. And then obviously people knew I had a collection, so family members, oh, come and play at my house party, and started off playing at some house parties. And back then you had your specialist DJs, so you had your garage DJ, you had your jungle DJ. So I would be like the ragga hip hop DJ and come and do my thing. Do you know what I mean? Right. And so yeah, and then before you knew it, I was a DJ. Do you know what I mean? Like, because obviously back then to be a DJ, you had to have a record collection. So you had to spend money.
That's right.
And you were known for your collection of music. Do you understand? Yeah. So, like I said, we all had our own lanes. So if someone needed a bashment DJ, oh, call this guy. We need a garage, so we call this guy. So everyone had their own kind of lane because you had to buy your own music. It's not like now where music is free now. I can give you a hard drive full of tunes now and you're a DJ. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You had to spend money, do you know what I mean? So yeah, and then got a couple bookings in the club, and before I knew it, I was a DJ. So it was more of like a accidental thing than an intentional, like, oh, this is what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
What challenges did you face when starting out, and how did you overcome them?
Challenges? I suppose because it was never something that I really wanted to do, so it was like I just kind of went with the flow. So I wouldn't say there was many challenges. Obviously getting bookings, because I started playing with a sound system, and I think the challenge with that is that I've always been an individual, and I like to be held responsible for what I do as an individual. But I found I was being judged as the sound collective. Right. Do you know what I mean? So we weren't getting as many bookings as I thought that I should be getting, or we should be getting. So I was doing my own things. Even though I was with the sound, I was making my own mixtapes and stuff. And the sound didn't like that because I wasn't putting the sound name on the mixtapes and stuff. So we kind of fell out over that. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. Do you know what I mean? Because if anything, with any crew, team, if you don't have the same goal, it's not going to work. Do you understand what I'm saying? And my goal was to be playing out in clubs and playing out regularly where they were just happy bringing out the sound like once a month. And I didn't mind playing in the club, you know what I mean? Lugging around this big sound system all the time just wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? I just wanted to play music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So our goals were different, do you know what I mean? So when that split came, I was like, cool, I can go and do what I'm doing now. And I kind of went from strength to strength after I left them. But yeah.
Can you share a memorable moment from your early days as a club DJ?
Memorable moment. I don't know. Probably my first big event was playing at Hammersmith. What was it called? I can't remember the club. It was a big club, like had 3,000 people there. And I remember playing there, and that was like my first biggest booking. I think it was a night. I used to work for Nando's, and it was a Nando's staff party.
Right.
So all the Nando's from all over the country come down to London and had a big party. And I played there. That was my first big booking. Yeah, that was definitely a memorable experience.
Do you know, like, what strategies do you use to keep the energy high and the crowd engaged during your DJ sets?
I think the most important thing as a DJ is playing what the people want. And that's what separates a good DJ from a bad DJ, I suppose. And I think I've benefited from not... Because my thing was always about pleasing the people.
Right.
So I'll never be someone to play for myself. Because like I told you before, I was never really into music. I used to like music, but I never had a love, like a deep love for music. Do you know what I mean? Even now, like, I like music, but I wouldn't say... Like, some people, they can't go a day without listening to music. When you're in the car, they're listening to music. When you're in the shower. And I don't really listen to a lot of music, you know. Like, and people find it really surprising. So because I've always had this, my love was for pleasing the people.
Right.
So... So when I'm playing out, I'm not playing for myself. So it's imperative that it's kind of like when you're DJing, it's like, especially if I got a long set, it's about a journey. You're taking people on a journey, do you know what I mean? It's like, you kind of build yourself up, and then once you hit that peak, you just hold them there. And it's a challenge. But obviously, the longer you do any art form, the more skilled you get at it. And so for me, it's always come kind of naturally in terms of getting them to that point and holding them at that point. And so what's the question?
No, the question was just, you did. You know, it's how to keep the energy high and the crowd engaged during your sets and things of that nature. So yeah, you did answer that. My next one to you is how do you stay current with trends in the music and the nightlife industry?
Well, I think you got a choice. You can be current, but for me, as much as it's about, for me, playing what the people want, I still have principles. I'm going to play music that I like to a certain extent. So it has to be both.
Right.
There'll be on occasion where I might play a tune that I'm really not a fan of, but I think now, in 2024, I'm just happy going out and playing old school. So the majority of events I do is playing old school, because that's the music I like. That's the music I love, and I think the current state of music is very... It's negative. Like, there's a lot, especially black music, it's very negative, and it's by design. Do you know what I mean? It's not like... and it's almost like a cycle. It's like, I mean, the question is whether does society kind of form the music that is made, or does music kind of form society? Do you know what I mean? But for me, it's like it's a circle, it's a cycle. Do you know what I mean? So unless that cycle is broken, it's going to keep going around. We're going to keep making negative music, which is going to impact on society. society is going to act away, and then people come up living in that society are going to make music about the society. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So it's like a cycle that's going to be, and it's just going to keep getting worse. Whether it's the violent songs and the negative songs and just songs that are not doing anything positive for the black community. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's by design. This was from back in the early 90s.
That's right.
In America, they had a policy that they're going to push the gangster rap thing. Do you know what I mean? And everything else has to kind of step aside. We're pushing this. Do you know what I mean? So that's all people hear. That's all people know. So any aspiring rappers, this is what I got to rap about. This is what I got to be about, because this is what sells. The females, it's about sex and sexualizing ourselves and whatever, man. This is what I have to talk about, do you know what I mean? And that's how music has got to this point, but it's been a long process of getting to this point.
That's right.
But even back in the day, we always had the negative songs and the gangsterism and the sexualized songs and whatever, but there was definitely more of a balance. Do you know what I mean? Because even you could turn on BET or MTV and you'll see a wide range of, even if it was a hip-hop show, for example, you'll see a NWA, but you also see like a Tribe Called Quest. You'll see a Public Enemy on there. Do you know what I mean? And Mos Def. So there's always a balance. Do you know what I mean? But now it's less of a balance. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which is obviously not going to be good. Good for like the mainstream, or whatever the mainstream is now. Because, like I said, music is so accessible now. Whereas before it was just, we had a few avenues, which was radio, really.
That's right.
Maybe at MTV. Do you know what I mean? For us to source new music. Do you know what I mean? So they probably had more control then than they do now.
Yeah.
But they can still push, obviously, stuff with the algorithms and stuff. But
still get their narrative across.
Yeah, 100%.
How do you handle setbacks or disappointments in your career?
Well, I think I'm just a calm, cool guy by nature, innit? So I don't dwell on anything too long. Do you know what I mean? So setbacks, you just keep it moving. Do you know what I mean? You just, whether it's DJing, whether it's stuff that happened to you in your personal life, you just keep it moving. You know what I mean? You don't dwell, and I think it helps me. My concentration span has never been good, so I can't concentrate on anything for too long. So whether it's negative or positive, do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, just keep it moving.
What do you think are the skills that are needed to succeed as an events promoter and a DJ?
Well, as a promoter, skills, just hard work. I think it's hard work and really believing in your product. I think promoting something that you believe in. It's difficult to promote something that I wouldn't say it's harder. It's not impossible, but it helps if you believe in what you're selling. You know what I mean? With any business, do you know what I mean? If you're passionate about your business and having something and having a product, so it's focusing on the product first and foremost, making sure your product is the best it can be.
Yeah.
And then obviously we're talking about promotion, so it'll be making sure your rave is like the best it can be. The music policy is on point, the venue is on point, and then promoting the hell out of it. Back in the days, it was standing outside clubs, handing out flyers, and this was before social media, obviously. We had to be physically out there in the streets, like, promoting your thing, do you know what I mean? So I think determination, dedication, that's on the promoter side. DJing, I think the same things apply, do you know what I mean? Just keeping up to date with what's going on, and like I said, practice makes perfect. So the more you practice, the better you're going to become at any trade.
Yes, that's it. How do you stay organised and manage your time effectively when juggling multiple projects?
I'm not very good at that. I'm not gonna lie. Time management is not one of my best things. Depending on what scale you're doing things, what I've learned now is that if you're doing something big, you need help. Like, I think I see a lot of people trying to do everything themselves, which I kind of get, because the saying is, if you want something done properly, do it yourself. Do you know what I mean? And I've kind of had that mantra, but at the same time, you can't do everything properly to the full extent of what it can be if you do everything yourself. You just can't spread yourself that thin sometimes. So you need help, and you have to bring on board people that are like-minded people that can assist you in like achieving your goals and whatever. But in terms of like time management and stuff, yeah, spread the load, man.
No, I hear that, man. That's real.
Yeah.
How important is networking in your line of work, and how do you approach it?
It's very important. Very important, especially in this business. It's about who you know. Like, and a lot of breaks I've got is through who I know. So obviously, the more people you know. So it's very, very, very important and key to be out there, because it's like out of sight, out of mind. Do you know what I mean? So if people see you, they'll be like, oh yeah, Venom, what's going on? Yeah, man, and rare, and I've got this coming up, and rare. And also, when you're out there, you have to kind of, something that I've learned over the past couple of years is like, because I've always been like a humble person. I don't really talk about what I've done or what I do. I've never been that type of person, do you know what I mean? I just have general conversations with people.
Yeah.
There's people that I've known for years that don't know a lot of what I do, because I'm not that type of person. Kind of like that bossy, I've done this, I do
the
this.
braggadocious. And
yeah.
Hey,
but there's a thin line between being braggadocious and just being kind of promoting yourself.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? Selling yourself. Do you understand? So I've learned over the last couple of years just to talk, do you know what I mean? As well as being out there and being seen and networking. But it's all good meeting these people and whatever, but if you're not telling these people what you can do or what you do or what you've done, then you never know. So the more you speak and the more you show, they'll be like, oh, I never knew you done that. Oh, I need this. Or do you understand what I'm saying? And that applies with any line of business, you know what I mean? You have to kind of, I think that's what LinkedIn and all them sites are for, isn't it? Like basically for you to be selling yourself, you know what I mean? So
that's right.
When you're in person at an event or somewhere, you have to kind of be doing this, like. So it's very important in this line of business, very important. And a lot of opportunities I've got in this business is through networking and word of mouth and meeting people, and you know what I mean? So it's very important.
Definitely. Saying that, actually, what do you consider your biggest accomplishment so far in your career?
DJing career? Probably DJing for the artists that I have done. Like, I've worked with so many artists that majority of them being old school artists that I grew up listening to. So to not only meet these people but be able to work with them, sometimes it's kind of like, it's kind of mind-blowing if you step back and think about it and think about who this person is. Do you know what I mean? I literally had pictures of these people up on my wall.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? To go from that to be working with these people, having conversations with these people, plotting and working out shows and with them, and it's like, it's kind of surreal a lot of the time, but you get to realise that everyone's human. We're all human, do you know what I mean? And a lot of these artists that I've worked with, they've kind of had their success. They're still huge in their own right, do you know what I mean? But they're very humble and willing to, and obviously the more and more you work with this caliber of artist or DJs or whoever you're working with, you build up, you obviously build up a reputation, but you also build up experience. Do you understand? So then it gets to a point where I've got a lot to offer these artists. Do you know what I mean? Because I've worked with so many, I've got something I can offer you. And when I first started out, even though I had a lot of experience, I was kind of not scared, but I'm like, what can I tell you?
I hear you.
You've won Grammys and had your success, sold millions of records. What can I tell you? Do you know what I mean? But then I realised that I do have something to offer. Do you know what I mean? There was one incident when, like, the first time, like, I DJ'd for Donald Jones, for example. He had an idea that he wanted to perform a certain song off his new album at the end of his set. If they want an encore, he was like, yeah, Venom, play this song. And I was like, don't really think that's a good idea, you know, bro. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking in my head. But at the time I'm thinking, what can I tell you, bro? You're Donald Jones, bro. Like, I've got your CDs in my yard. Like, what can I tell you?
I hear you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And he and like, so fast forward to the show, he done his last song, and he said, yeah, Venom, play that track. And I was like, oh. Played it. And obviously didn't get a response because no one knows the song. And he was a bit disappointed, and he kind of left the stage a bit abruptly and whatever. And I was like, I could have told you that was going to happen. Because it doesn't matter who you are. You could be Jay-Z, Beyonce. You drop a tune that nobody knows. Obviously, people are going to be standing there looking at you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So from that point on, I was like, you know what? If I'm in a situation like that again, I'm going to put forward my 2 pence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they take it on board, they do. If they don't, they don't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so it's like you get it, and the more and more you do it, the more experience you build, and like I said, you're able to share the knowledge that you acquire over the years. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, it's creative criticism. You know, I hear that.
Yeah.
How do you see the future of events, promotion, and club night DJing evolving?
Well, I think in terms of like promotion and stuff, obviously a lot of the stuff is online now. So promoting an event, majority of that is online now. The landscape has changed, especially through obviously lockdown and the pandemic and whatnot, where clubs weren't opening. There was a shift where promoters had to keep like day parties.
Right.
So a lot of brunches and stuff. So that's why now brunches are very, very popular now, because not only did the promoters realise that this is all we can do really, but the ravers were like, oh, I can go out in a day, be home by 10, fully enjoy myself, get drunk, be home by 10 and wake up early and take the kids football in the morning. Do you know what I mean? And so a lot of the not only the promoters but the public now are like, yeah, this works for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if it's on a Saturday. So there's definitely been a shift from that, and but yeah, just with everything with technology and stuff. When it comes to DJing and stuff, the amount of technology available from when I first started, it's a whole different ball game now. It's a whole different ball game where like it's a lot easier to become a DJ now. Not only with access to music, because that was the biggest thing as a DJ. Like, it didn't matter if you had skills or whatever. If you didn't have a record collection,
yeah, that's it. It's what you got in it to play the masses.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So that was a huge thing back in the day. You had to have music and you got booked for the music you had.
That's right.
But now everyone has everything, so everyone can play every genre. And like I said, I can give you a hard drive now. Tomorrow you can go and
just get busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you enjoy most about your job?
I think it's still the same thing when I started out, and why I started out is pleasing people, entertaining people, making people happy. Do you know what I mean? That's where I get my enjoyment from. You understand? When I go into a dance and I just see how people react to music and see how different music, and having a deeper understanding of what music is now in terms of frequencies and stuff like that, and understanding like what I'm seeing, understanding why it's happening. Yeah. So yeah, the spreading that energy and the energy you get back from the audience is it's a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing. It is a real interaction of energies. Do you understand what I'm saying? And yeah, that's definitely my biggest enjoyment.
And the thing is, you're the maestro, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, bro. Are there any upcoming projects or events that you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, well, I've been part of this festival in Antigua for a while, D-Jam Festival, that we're looking to bring back this year with a vengeance. 7 days and 7 nights in Antigua. It's going to be big this year, especially we're adding extra elements to that. So yeah, definitely that. Just doing more shows, putting on my own shows like concerts and stuff in the future. That's definitely something I'm looking to step into. Instead of working for guys, like doing my own thing.
I hear you. Yeah, man.
Yeah. 'Cause I've got enough, I've got everything. I've been doing it for so long. Do you know what I mean? The knowledge is there. Do you know what I mean? It's just putting that knowledge and, like I said, the links I've made through networking over the years and stuff. Everything's in place. It's just for me to say, look, I'm going to do it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
For real.